What's up, everybody? Dark Cosmic here, back with another astrology video. Pardon me. Today I want to talk about having your Mercury in the 8th house. So this placement is a lot like having Mercury in Scorpio. So I like to look at the planets like they are individuals. I like to look at the houses like they are locations for that individual to go to. So when you take these two things and put them together, you have a house that is based off of transformation, sex, other people's possessions, rejuvenation, death and rebirth. Also, parasitic energy, vampire type energy can also be associated with the 8th house. I like to think of the 8th house kind of like the Addams family, where all the bizarre things are found, and there's an there's a sexual air in there too, but it's very dark, it's twisted. It can be dark, very twisted, mysterious, and odd in a dark and almost scary way sometimes. That's what the 8th house is like. So if you were going to a house and it was called the 8th house, it would look like the Addams family house, the home of the Addams family. So Mercury is the way that you think. It is the way that you communicate. It is the way that you rationalize your reality that you are in. It governs both Virgo and Gemini. So that's just something to keep in mind. So we're going to take this, it's also a planet of research as well. So we're going to take this individual planet, right? Because I look at the planets like an individual, and we're going to place them into the 8th house. So what does this person think about? Now that they live in the 8th house, what are the ideas that are going to consume them now? They're going to be thinking a lot about sex. They're going to be thinking a lot about transformation. They're going to be thinking a lot about life and death. They're going to be thinking a lot about mysteries and trying to solve mysteries or trying to uncover information. Deep information work, like always researching things in a deep way and trying to find the hidden gems within the information. It's not just to know. Like deep information would be like, well, deep information can be, in relation to the ocean. Maybe they like to research topics that are in regards to the ocean. But not just that, it would be the difference between I want to talk about whales or I want to talk about the mystery of whales. The mystery of where whales go, or how do whales do this? It's like the mysteries and the depths. That's how they go beyond the surface level information. So this is how these individuals think. People with Mercury in the 8th house, I would say the pros with this placement is being very intuitive, being able to think in a way that you kind of know. These people kind of know how other people think on a deep level. So they can just off of what you said to them, or just by studying the way that you think off a conversation or the information that you bring to them on a daily basis, they can understand you at a deep level. So that's a good thing about them, because it gives them the ability to know whether or not to vet out whether or not you are a trustworthy person. Like if you're coming to them with information that is all surface level and is all about people, somebody else, and not about yourself, it's just always talking about other people, they're gonna look at you and like, okay, and they'll have a deeper understanding that you are the type of person that information shouldn't be shared to. Information of value shouldn't be shared to, because it's just going to spread around the whole entire fucking room. So why even tell you that? Why, like, they're able to take that knowledge and and look at it in a deep way. They don't just, like, when you're talking, they're listening to you on a very deep level. They're not just kind of joking around with you playfully. They're gonna always look behind the scenes and underneath everything that you say. That's a good and a bad thing, to be honest. What else? These people are incredibly good at doing deep research. Like I said, they can be detectives. They can be they can be probably people that, you know, talk on the phone. You know, the phone sex operators. They can be those type of people too. They know exactly what to say in a sexual way. What else? But I would say definitely the topics being discussed the most and the ideas that they are constantly receiving in their mind is in relation to everything, is in connection to everything that is 8th house based. So these people, they get a lot of dark thoughts. So they probably think a lot about death. They think a lot about harming others, possibly as well, because it has to do with death. It doesn't mean that they want to kill people, but they might have, because Mercury is an energy. You're like a thought. Thoughts aren't really coming from you. Like people think a thought is always coming from them, but actually you are receiving. You're like a receiver, an antenna, and you're just receiving all these frequencies from the outside, and you have no choice but to react. And your reaction is going to judge who you are. It's going to judge, that's your character. It's like, I have a thought. It says I should kill this person. Should I kill this person? No. Or you have a thought. You can rationalize and recognize that you aren't the thought that's coming to you. So the thing with Scorpio, or not Scorpio, but Mercury and the 8th house people, just because you having these dark thoughts and sexual thoughts all the time, don't mean you have to act on it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you get rapists. That's where you get murderers. You know, that's where you just get people that are always just on the negative side of things. I mean, there's a positive side to Scorpio. Obviously, there's thoughts that you can think about transformation. I'm not saying sex is a bad thing either, but it's like an excessive amount of thinking about sex might lead to a bad thing. It becomes an addiction. So that's what I was trying to say there. You know, they receive a lot of dark type of thoughts, because Scorpio is like, it's a deep dark energy, so you're gonna receive dark thoughts, and if you don't learn to control that, you know, it can ruin your life. And if your mind is there, with Mercury being there, Mercury begins with the letter M, it rules the mind. Your mind is in the 8th house. It is in the darkness. So knowing that, you know now that when you get all these dark thoughts, twisted thoughts, you don't need to act on all of them. Just understand that your mind is in the 8th house, and that is who you are. You can act on some of them, but not all of them needs to be acted on. Not all of them need to be taken seriously. Not all of these thoughts need to, you know, reflect who you are. No matter how bad they are, it doesn't reflect who you are. It's what you do with them. It's how long you marinate on the thought. That's what matters. Once a thought comes into your mind and it doesn't belong there because it is from this dark world, you know, you can choose to cast it away. Say, I choose to not think that, or I don't agree to that, etc., and move on. That's what I would say for these people. I hope you enjoyed this video.